we're going to go ahead with, should the U.S. be world police? That is our question for today. And I will go ahead and let Phoenix Born start that off.
Will I start?
No, we'll go with Messiah if you want.
Yeah, Messiah, you can go first. I went first last week. You know, we playing hot potato right now.
All right.
So here's the reason why I think it's a good topic, because there's two big events that happened recently, and one of them, they were asking for the support of this country. The other one was, why the hell did we do what we got to do, right? And so I just think it's a good conversation to have. It's not, we're not here to stir any controversy. We're not here to any of that. I just think, right, my little old mind thinks that, why should we be the world's police? Why? But by doing that, we create enemies, right? We create friends on one side, allies on one side, and enemies in the other, by trying to be the world's police. But somebody brought up a point once, and they said, well, if we're not over there, somebody else is going to be, somebody else big, like Russia, China, or some other country, will be able to be over there also, and then now they have the support, or they take over, or they help out there. I don't know. I don't think that way, but I just think it's stupid. So this is where I think the world's police. So, everybody, what was going on with Cuba, right? There was a big civil rights movements going on over there and all that. So, and then they were asking for help. There was a big movement down here, and they were asking for help for the government. And that's when I thought, I'm like, why should we get involved? Without creating controversy, that, why should we get involved in something that's happening outside of the U.S.? Because there's a huge population here, especially in Florida, of Cubans, or is it a human rights movement? Should it be the reason why we're over there? Right?
Okay. So where do you stand on that? Well, I want to know where you stand. Are you on the side of
for the human rights part of it?
Hold on. So it's a very simple question. Should we be the world police in your mind? I'm not, and we'll get into the reasons why, yes or no. But that's the question. Should we be a world police or should we not? What side are you on?
My side is no.
I got to change my argument. That's fine.
That's all you wanted to know, right?
Yep, I gotta know what side I stand, bro. I gotta know what side I stand. Because listen, I'll make an argument for anything. You know me.
I know you will. So, I know.
Okay. So why shouldn't we then? What is your belief as why we shouldn't then? If you say
because we have issues in this country to solve.
Okay.
Why don't we focus in here first and then try to help out there, right? So like there's a poverty. Listen, there's poverty.
So currently, Messiah is winning.
You have to get a whiteboard for the next show.
I will.
And then just be able to put it up.
I got you on the next one.
There's a huge homelessness going on in this country. Unbelievably, there's a huge population that don't eat, that don't even have a meal to eat, especially kids. So there's that, right? Okay. And then the topic we're going to talk about later on.
So should I go ahead and rebuttal what you just said?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, or do Phoenix, you want to go?
Before you rebuttal.
Yeah. Hold on, let me take down some notes so I can have my talking points ready.
Okay, well, while you get your notes, I'll speak a little bit. I see Messiah's point, and at first I was like, yeah, the U.S. should be the world's police. This was like early in the week because my friend and I from work, we were just talking. We were watching podcasts and videos, and then I was just like, it doesn't really make sense to try to save the world, so to speak. Granted, what's going on is not good. It is, it's very hard to see.
And we're talking about, at this point, we're talking about what happened in Afghanistan, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like, I get it. It's not an easy thing to stomach or see, but we also have issues here as well. Of course, we want to protect the Americans that are over there, make sure they can get home safe. Mm-hmm. But once they're here, okay, there's just not much else we can do if this is just another repeat cycle, so to speak.
Okay. So here's my thing.
Is it really our business to be in the Middle East? What interest do we have over there?
So this is okay, and I'll listen. I'm probably going to argue both sides of this. I'll be honest, because I'm arguing again. Okay. I was hoping you go the other way. You brought it up. I thought you were going to be for us being the world police. So I had all my arguments in my mind ready to go. So I'm kind of going on the fly, but it's okay because I'm ready. So you're talking about the homeless and the hungry, right?
In this country.
in our country. Correct. And I'm not disagreeing that it's bad, right? But my question would be about that, and you know, I might get cancel cultured for saying these types of things, but I don't care.
This is just a topic of conversation.
Who's to blame for the homeless and the hungry in our country? Most of the time it's themselves, right?
You think so?
I am a firm believer in that. There are enough people out there trying to hire even the shittiest jobs ever. And I'm not talking about Walmart's, but like, listen, everywhere I go, Walmart's hiring, McDonald's is hiring, Burger. There's all these different things that are hiring. People just don't want those types of employment, right? And then the other thing is people are they spend their money on drugs, alcohol, and other things that keep them from progressing in their, you know, where they want to go.
What got them there in the first place?
Regardless, but are we not a free nation?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so people have the ability to get out of these positions if they so choose to. I know there may be obstacles.
Not if it's an addiction thing.
There's places you can go.
It's harder. Without help, it's harder. And everything costs money.
You can go for free to take care of addictions. There's places you can go for free to get food. There's places you can go for free to seek shelter. There are places and there are things in our infrastructure in place to help those people out, right? Mm-hmm. But when we're talking about those other countries and we're talking about the kids who are starving, don't have water, don't have homes, who are literally destitute because their governments are the ones causing that for them. You don't think we should have some sort of obligation to step in and try to help those people out because they don't live in a free nation, right?
You're
they
right.
don't live in a free country. Mm-hmm. They're not awarded or afforded the same liberties and same opportunities that people in this country have. So
that yes. What you're talking about, helping out other countries in feeding the ones that need to be fed.
But here's the thing. Educate. But hold on. But here's the thing. In order to do those things, don't we need to step in and police? Because once again, it goes back to the governments that are in control of those nations. They're the ones who are causing the majority of those issues in their country because it's feed the rich and fuck the poor, right? There's nothing in place for them to help out. There's no relief efforts. There's nothing for those people in those countries. So we're just supposed to stand by and let them suffer?
But wait, there's other big countries for first world countries that can do it. Why are we one of the biggest contributors?
And to add on, to counter you, you can try to help out with the governments and all that, but you're trying to have two beliefs go at it. You know, we have our set of beliefs and rights, and then another country has their own set of beliefs and rights. That's why there's different governments and different ideologies. So if that specific country doesn't want to, quote unquote, accept it or follow by the rules, then you start getting conflict. So then at that point where it's like, okay, we're trying to help, but if you don't want to accept our assistance, then what else do you want? Because we're just not going to be able to give it to you.
Yeah, but at the same time, a lot of those countries we're talking about are at civil arrest or under civil arrest, right? So meaning that not everybody agrees with whatever that is, right? I get there's conflicting in between governments, but when we have half of a nation who's trying to revolt against these people, obviously not everybody's on board with that shit, right? Mm-hmm. And so we're supposed to just let those people suffer because the people in charge don't believe the same things we do?
Well, so here's the thing, and I think the what's happening when I think was trying to talk about was there's when we got to try to help a country, we can go there to help humanitarian, right? We go there and help, try to feed the poor and all that. We can do that. There's no need for us to crumble it down and rebuild the infrastructure or rebuild their government. Because our
government's the one causing
our democracy doesn't work over there. It doesn't work in every country.
But you're not understanding. If that government is the cause and the root of what's causing that problem, then going over there is not going to change anything unless you get a different regime in there, right? You have to find a way to fix the problem, not put a Band-Aid on it.
So how do you fix it?
That's where you have to spread democracy, right?
Okay.
Instead of dictatorships. You start to spread a democracy throughout the world. And that's what being world police means, is you're spreading freedom throughout the world. That's the point of it. Because what's the point of going out there and doing it?
But what gives us the right? What gives us the right? Why? Okay, what if we just do this? And this is a hypothetical scenario. What if we just like, fuck it, it ain't us?
We get back to what we were doing in the world before World War II, where we watched 2 million of a race perish, over 2 million, excuse me. It was like 8 million, whatever it was, perish because we didn't want to act on the atrocities that we knew were going on. Right?
Yeah.
We're just like, you know what? That's your problem, Europe. You guys deal with that shit. And all these people died because we're like, you know what? You're not our problem. And that's what we should be. That's what we should go back to. Mass genocide because we don't want to get into it.
No.
But that's what could happen if we're not stepping in.
So the conflict that's been going on. Okay, so the conflict that's been going on in Afghanistan. I was reading up on it, and for 20 years we've been over there. For 20 years, we have tried, and we dumped a lot of money and try to helping them, right? Build a democracy, try to help them support themselves. We even taught the military how to defend themselves. And the minute we pull out, the whole shit goes to falls apart. Now they're blaming us because we left so fast, but we left without a plan, right?
Yeah.
So that's where I think where we get in trouble as a country, right? Where we went over there, try to help them out, try to teach them, what we can do, or how to defend themselves, or how to do their politics, how to solve their how to try to solve their issues. And then the minute we step out, it goes back to where it was before we were there 20 years ago. So that's where I think that do we go there and make a bigger mess, or do we go there and spend all that money and nothing happens?
Well, that's why you can't remove a police force, right? If we get rid of the police force in the U.S., what's going to happen?
Oh yeah, it'll be hell. All hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
Okay, so then how is that any different if we're in another country? So yeah, of course, if we step out and we remove our police force, then it's going to crumble. That's
so
the whole
how long?
point.
So you expecting us? So let me ask you this: so were you expecting us to be there? How long?
Indefinitely.
We're already there 20 years.
Indefinitely.
Really?
That's what it takes.
So you're willing to put soldiers over there?
If that's what it takes to
here's a
create
tough
world
question.
peace, if that's what it takes to create world peace, right? That's what we're talking about, right?
Okay.
Because we're policing the world to create peace. So if that's what's going to take, then yes, that's what we'd be doing.
Okay.
So
you believe that go ahead.
So if you want to do world peace, and then
what's the point of being the world police unless we're trying to create peace?
So it's just one country trying to govern the entire world. Don't we have the United Nations to talk about it? And if we just want to create a world peace, why don't we just band other countries together, not just one country do it?
Well, isn't that what NATO does?
NATO, yeah, from what I remember, but that's just to control crazy stuff.
But the United Nations and all that's all political bullshit, right? That's all about how is it going to benefit me and my country, whether I'm.
Well, everything is all about that, because you think the United States gets involved because it's for the benefit of the other country. No, there's something probably there that they want.
Well, first of all, that should have been your main argument, right? And that's where you fucked up, right? That should have been your argument against me. And that's the argument I was going to use against you, is that it's all about an agenda. So the only time the problem with the U.S. is the only time we're a world police is when we're going to profit off of something. Right?
Of course.
We're not going into countries that have no profit for us or no strategic value military-wise and helping them out. So what I'm saying is we blanketly go across the world and become a world police. Now, it doesn't mean we run, right, their governments. Okay, I'm not saying we try
to teach them also how to...
We exactly. So, but we stay there with our presence to ensure this goes on. Right?
Yeah, but how much lives does it cost? Is it going to cost?
Let me ask you this: do we have military presence in Britain, in Germany?
We have an embassy over there, so yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Right. So we have presence in these countries that are
wherever we have
allies.
an embassy, we have security there.
Okay. So my point is that we still allow them to self-govern, right? We don't stop them from doing but there are also nations that give their people more freedom, right? So but we're still present. We're still policing it, because if something goes bad, guess what? We have a presence there. Why wouldn't we do that for the whole world?
We shouldn't.
I don't think it makes sense for the whole world.
So I don't think we should stand back and watch the world burn.
No,
you can't do that either. But there's only so much resources we have to be able to do this. Like we run through the budget every year for this. I don't exactly know the budget. I remember reading something of like 600 billion, and we're always at 95%. So, what else can we do to keep going? If you want to keep this indefinitely, well, it's got to come from somewhere. And if we're already running through this budget between soldiers and all that, where else can you pull it from?
I mean, we could pull it from the pockets of the politicians. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Well, that's that problem. Is there's people.
Well, and it's just involved. That we also can tax the higher bracket.
Right. There's ways to do like listen, man. It was said once that Scott Bezos, or whatever his name is, had enough money to feed every single
Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos. Yeah, he has enough money to feed every person on Earth for like the rest of their lives with the amount of money he has. Okay, like don't talk to me about money.
If that's
money's
they're just eating rice.
Okay, that's still more than a lot of people are eating in this world, right?
Yeah, of course.
So I mean, then don't talk to me about the money. The money's out there in the world. It's just how we allocate it and how we, and what we do with it. You know what I'm saying? It's just I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't for it, but the more you guys argue, the more I am for it. Like, let's go out and let's just run shit.
I just think this. I just think when we get involved, obviously there's an interest for us to be there, but when we get involved, we just fuck it up more.
I don't.
And then, for example, the president gets the backlash for it.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. My biggest thing is the only reason why I wouldn't want to do it is when you sign up for the military, you're signing up to protect our country, not others. So that'd be my big argument.
Well, we have the Coast Guards for that. I mean, not the Coast Guards, the National Guards for that, don't we?
For what?
To protect our country.
No, that's what we have: the Army and the Navy and the Air
Army.
Force.
Yes, we have those branches, but the National Guard will actually, it's the guards of the nation, and then you have the military to go out there and keep the seas busy, keeps everything else out there. So what's
the military for then? To police? That's what you're saying.
Basically.
So there you go. So we have a military for that purpose, but yet you don't think we should use them for that purpose. So what are we going to use the military for?
I don't know. We have to.
See, I always find a way.
I just think this. So I'm I have mixed feelings on it. I think we shouldn't do it, but I understand that we are the bully killers, but then we end up being the bully.
Yeah.
We're the guy who punched the bully in the nose, but then we're the one who said, okay, now I'm the one in charge of this place. And then we become the bully.
Listen, you can't make everybody happy all the time, right? You're going to have half a nation who loves us, half a nation who hates us. So, I mean, what are you going to do, right?
Yep.
So, all right.
By the way, Tasha sent in her FOH. She said it's a little bit late, but she sent it. I'll put it on the OneDrive. You'll see it in the new folder.
Like, do you know how much work it tries to take?
Well, we'll save it for next week.
All right, we'll save it for next week. So.
Let her know. She knows.
Well, obviously she knows. She's watching the show. I mean, sorry, Tasha. In case you didn't know, I'll call you. God, get the fuck out of here. All right, so let's hop into the next subject. What do you got, Nate, for that round?
For which one?
For the one we just did.
I think before you do that, can you read Tasha's comment on it? She wrote.
What gives America the right to police the world? Our embassies don't step into the governing nations or provide structure to their government. That's the problem. We should be doing more of that. When we get involved, we get scolded for what we do. Don't do, say, don't say. Oh, don't do, say, don't say. Yes, there are many pros to stepping in, but cons as well. And we are locked down upon when we step out of the situation that we didn't want to be in. So yeah, I get that. Like but that's the thing. No matter, there's always going to be pros and cons, right? There's nothing we can do around that.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what we're doing. Listen, the things we do in our own country that obviously people don't agree on. So that's just the way the world works. It's not about doing what people want. It's doing what's right. That's what it has to be at the end of the day. Human rights. right? And these countries who don't give human rights to people, women, or elderly, or whatever else, they deserve to be governed, to not be governed, but they deserve to be policed. Okay.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I mean, why we already do it to a degree, right? If Afghanistan goes and tries to get nuclear weapons, what are we going to do?
Oh, hell yeah. But at that point, they become a threat. Yes.
Right? We're going to police them. So we are a world police to a degree, right? Iraq, they were trying to do nuclear weapons. What did we do? We went in and policed them, right? The Gulf War and all that shit. That was what that was about. Like, so we already are a world police. It's just, yeah, not everybody's going to agree with it. Not everybody's going to be on board. But at the end of the day, it's something that has to be done. That's why we have the military.
It's a dirty job, but somebody got to do it, right?
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. And if somebody doesn't, that's where we get the conflicts that we've had in the past.
But I think that was a good point that you brought up when you brought up the World War II. Yeah, that right there. I'm like, yo, that is so true.
Yeah.
So I give you that.
You can't argue that.
Yeah.
I give you that one.
So,